So, good evening. We are back again with the Real Talk podcast. None of this Disneyland talk, none of this WWE talk. We are here with a Real Talk podcast that will trigger absolutely everybody that's inverted, like our fullback that disappears. But Jez, how's your weekend been, mate? How are you?
Well, another disappointment, isn't it? Can't even beat Nottingham Forest now. Shocking. I said that was going to be a tough game. I called it. They were fighting to stay in the Premier League. They turned up, bullied us, outthought us. Mentally weak Arsenal. Shocking, disgraceful. Dear God, can somebody please tell me? Tell me what kind of team lineup was that you put Xhaka at left back and then he plays in midfield, and you've got Partey. Well, he was at right back. He was in the middle. We've got Ben White, central defender. It was an absolute crap show. It's embarrassing, man. This is Arsenal Football Club, and we capitulated, gave the league on a silver platter to Manchester City. Maybe because that Pep Guardiola, the cone boy, just can't compete. It's disgusting how this man Arteta is still at this club after throwing away the Premier League after 248 days, 8 points clear at one point. And now, factually, if we lose against Wolves, really, it could be a 21-point swing. That is disgrace. Disgrace.
Yep, couldn't agree more, mate. Couldn't agree more. It's baffling. Kenny, how are you, mate?
You know what? Over the weekend, I was angry because there was a bit of stress. I was angrier yesterday when I saw Man City lifted the title, our title, because I'm sorry, people say, "Oh, you spoiled winning titles." Yeah, of course I'm spoiled winning titles. We were ahead. We were occupying first place. For most, if not all, over the season. So if I just do my mathematics, I'd say 93% of the season. You expect to see it through, and now we got a 10-point swing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I can't believe it.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, mate. A lot of our big players have disappeared. We'll come on to that in a bit. Matty, what you saying, man?
Brother, we're sitting in the same place we were sitting in this time last year. Same results. Blown it again. It's like Kenny just said. Just sat there yesterday. I sat on my sofa yesterday and I watched armpits in the air, hoisting our trophy. And we've got fans that sat online this morning, this weekend, and they're defending coming in second place. It shows you how far we have fallen. We led this all year long. And then they've only had it for a couple of weeks, and they're the champions. And this man is getting up, going to work today without a problem. We've got major issues at this football club, Lee and Jez. We've got major issues, and I'm sure we'll get into it. But we've got some major issues that need to be talked about, and we've got a fan base that is just as lost as the folks was lost in the Old Testament. Man, they are through in the wilderness. They need a light.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Listen, if I'm not going to bother doing it now because I've literally got a handful of streams left this summer, and then I'm sat on a beach, and I will be ignoring everyone. But if I went through the comments on my Instagram posts and my TikTok posts, it's mad. It's actually mad, and it's a damning indictment of this fan base and this football club and the culture of this football club that bottling an 8-point lead when we were en route to Anfield and ended up currently sat 7 points behind them 6 weeks later. And everyone's got the bunting out, the party poppers, Auntie Pam's coming round for cakes and coffees and scones. No, it's fantastic. Everything's great. They're going to drop a new kit by the weekend. Ian Wright's going to be wheeling out the merch on that one. They've done a promotional video that they're putting out all over their socials today with the women's team involved, some of the behind the scenes stuff with
Lee,
coach
Lee,
and stuff like that.
sorry,
It's
Lee.
fantastic. Everything's great. We've got a dog called Win. Let's not forget.
Look, Lee, sorry to interrupt, but it gets much worse because, you know, if you go back to the West Ham game when we were at Liverpool Street, people were planning to come from all over the world. I know some good friends are coming over from the United States because they came down for Nottingham Forest game because that's the game we were meant to, you know, be crowned champions, not Man City, us. And next Sunday coming was meant to be like people going to meet up at, you know, around Islington or the Exmouth market. And then, you know, they were going to make a day of it because it was meant to be our coronation. So it's like loads of cancelled parties, you know, this weekend because of our failure. You know, I think a lot of people come to the party, Lee. They come to the party.
Oh, of course they're coming to party. Listen, this is our best season for 7 years. Of course they're partying, and we've won nothing.
No, I didn't mean it in that. I didn't mean it in that respect.
Oh no, I know. I was being sarcastic.
No. I'm talking about the party. No, not the party to celebrate. No, what I meant is our party. You know, the party of the truth.
Okay.
The party of the truth.
So to be honest with you, you're actually right because I've seen a lot of people putting their head above the parapet that wouldn't normally, put it that way. And the fact that there was 30,000 fans walking out against Brighton, and you could see the cannon, in the stands on the seats, that tells you there's a lot of people very upset. The fact that more and more people are actually saying it, And listen, I want to say this as well, right? Because I've been doing YouTube a long time, and I see the same faces in my chat every day. I know I wouldn't say I've got photographic memory, I haven't, but I've got a very good memory. Let me tell you now, see a lot of people coming in my chat now that have not been here for the last 2 seasons. That are now going, oh, I used to think you were negative. But all you want is the best for the club. Okay, so what took you 2 years to figure that out then? After you used to be here every day? Because you've been subscribed for 4 years or 3.5 years. And then you disappear for 2, and now you come back. I used to think, have you realized that the game is up and you can't keep the facade up any longer? Because, like, for me, he should never have got the job anyway. But he won the FA Cup once he was here. We all cheered that. We all celebrated that. We love winning trophies. We then gave him the next year. He goes into the next year. He strips the team apart. He gets some other players. We finish 8th. We don't even qualify for Europe. Well done, mate. Then he goes and gets another load more players, wins nothing, and bottles top 4. Then he gets another load more players, throws us out of every single cup competition, blessing in disguise, bigger fish to fry, blah, blah, blah. And we have got currently a 15-point swing. Why is the guy still here? And for anybody who can't grasp the concept, because there's a lot of people out there that are dense and thick, right? And I get it. That's just the way of the world. There's a lot of thick people that roam the earth, right? Unfortunately, a lot of them support this football club, right? But when I'm doing a video and I'm saying for 3 full seasons in a row, I don't know what part you missed where I said 3 full seasons in a row, because the FA Cup was not in a full season he was managing. No. He's had 3 full seasons after that and won nothing. And this is being cheered like we've won the treble. It is a shambles. And fans are out here with their pants around their ankles today. Go and get İlkay Gündoğan. No disrespect. He's a fantastic footballer. Unbelievably talented footballer. He's 33 in October. No disrespect. Why are we looking at a player like that? I thought this was a youth project. We're in phase 3 of the project, right? Come on, man. We're supposed to be looking at the best young talents in the world. That's what we keep saying. It's what our club keeps telling us. We're getting rid of a 31-year-old to go and buy a 33-year-old. This makes no sense to me. What do you make of that, Jez, by the way? Let me come to you first on that.
I think it's disgraceful. It does make shows that we are at the point we are scraping the bottom of the barrel, absolutely lost, deluded. I could put so many narratives out there. I can't be asked, because I said Sunday night after that despicable performance against Nottingham Forest, I don't think I'll ever go and watch this team live ever again until this manager and Edu is out. I'm not going to spend 1 single penny on this club. And I'm not going to disrespect the people that do. Fair play to them that do. I'm not having to go at you, Kenny, because I know it's your love. For me, it's different because for me, I'm not local. It costs me an awful lot of money to get there nowadays. And I just don't want to go, Lee, and watch this absolute bloody dross, fakeness, this fake positivity that certain parts of this fan base have. Until the fans turned, we're going to be stuck with this absolute arsehole. And the fact, this bullshit about this bloody dog, that dog's real name, mate, is Winless. That's its real name because we are winless. It's right. I mean, I just don't get it. I just don't understand a club the size of Arsenal will go and get a dog to take it to the training ground so they're all happy. I don't want them to be happy. I want them to fight. I want them to go out onto a football pitch. I don't want to see them shaking hands with their ex-colleagues from different bloody football clubs. I want to see them kicking them up in the solid air. That's what I want to see at Arsenal. That's what we used to have, fighters. We've now got nothing but a bunch of bloody fairies. And I'm fed up with it. I'm telling you what, no way am I spending 1 penny on this football club. Never.
I don't blame you, mate. I ain't either. Last time I brought something was last season's away shirt, right? Not the one we're just finishing this season, right? Oh, that reminds me, the pink shirt, by the way, the third kit that they ripped everyone off for 70 quid, they've worn twice all season. So if that don't tell you anything other than don't buy the third kit this season coming up, I don't know what, if the alarm bells are not going off in your head, they never will do. Yeah. The last thing I bought was the last season's yellow away shirt. And I brought that before my birthday, and my birthday was June. Or it was around my birthday. Yeah, and that was before they'd even signed a player. And that is the last thing I'm buying until this club sorts itself out. Yeah, and I don't care that it won't dent their income. Couldn't care less. Yeah, I refuse to spend a penny on this club. This club is a disgrace. 30 years without anything in Europe and 19 years without a title. Absolute disgrace. Yeah, Kenny, what do you put this down to, mate? Because we can all point the finger at Arteta. We can all point the finger at the players, the ownership. Is it a collective of all of them? Because we're rounding out new contracts like confetti, like sweets, after they've achieved nothing. You know, and some of these players have still got 2-3 years left on their current contracts before we're renewing them. Is this the manager? Is this the ownership? Is it the players being weak mentally wise? Or is it just inexperience or a bit of everything?
Well, you can't put it down to experience because as we calculated 2 weeks ago, Saka has been around the first team for 4 or 5 years. And he's played nearly 200 games at international level and club level. So that is genuine experience. The only thing he's inexperienced is life. But in terms of in footballing wise, he's an experienced player. If people want to argue with that, look at the stats, because I know a lot of you guys go by stats. So you'll know he's got experience. And he's probably got more experience of playing in the first team than the players older than him. Granit Xhaka, captain of Switzerland, a wealth of experience in other, not just playing in the Premiership, but he's also played in Europe and he's played in major tournaments for his country where there is big game pressure. This captain of Norway played, was trying to get in the Real Madrid team, which is the greatest pressure of all. So there is some sort of experience. The manager itself is in a dock as well, because let's not forget he's got form for this. Last season, he snatched 5th place from the jaws of 4th. So that is an example of a man who can't see it through, a man who's indecisive in terms of his team selection, his tactics, and he feels the pressure as well. He certainly felt it in this championship running. And then you've got the board as well with small time. I mean, you mentioned Godwin. A lot of fans are celebrating the fact that we got Zinchenko and Jesus, and they were catalysts for a change of attitude in terms of the change of mentality. They were mentality monsters from Man City. They brought it alongside that attitude. But what people didn't realise is that when Man City sold both those players, they upgraded. Zinchenko was not a first-team player at Man City. Jesus was not a first-team player at Man City. Jesus has a lot of endeavour, heart, and he's got. But is he a goal scorer? No. You still keep him 100%. But the fact is, we've bought badly. January as well. We got Trossard. Yeah, good player. Is he great? Not really. Has he been consistent? Not really. There was a chance to get Caicedo. Missed out on that. Yes, people can say, oh, yeah, you dodged a bit of Mudryk. Maybe so. But the mentality that we were looking for in trying to get Caicedo and Mudryk was to get those kind of players who are going to take us at the level to win the league. Basically, in a nutshell, we've got too many players with top four mentality at the club. We've got a manager who has got a top four mentality. Because if you had a championship mentality, you would have seen it through. Because let me tell you now, whether people like it or not, we've turned one of the biggest swings in Premiership history into one of the biggest deficits for a team competing for a league. Because let's not forget, we were competing for that league and we were neck and neck. We threw it away. Man United, when they finished behind Man City, were not competing for the league. Man City were on their own. Liverpool on their own in 2020. But this was a team that had it in their hands. Now you've gone from an 8-point lead to one of the biggest political swings to 10 points. Because City win all their games, it's 10 points. And you call that a good season? No. Until the mentality changes, until we get mentality monsters in, not players who have got experience from playing for Pep Guardiola, and not players who've got experience of maybe who gets the top four. Unless we have the mentality of a team that is going for the title, that's going to see it through, then we're going to get situations like this where we're going to be a top four team. You can't win the league with top four players. So in Edu's in tray, it has to be the best talent available. And if it means Liverpool, Man United, Man City, Chelsea, or even Spurs are going for him, then fine. You're a big club. You don't just move away from big targets because your rivals are going for them. Because if you've got that mentality, stop calling yourself a big club.
We're not going to get into a bidding war, Kenny. David Ornstein's told us.
All right, then, and that's the case. I'm going to stop saying we're the third biggest club in the country. I'm going to stop saying we're a big club, and I'm just going to accept all the things I fight against. Man City and Chelsea are bigger than us. Because if that's how we're going to carry on, we might as well accept that. Because no good crying about, we've missed out and blah, blah, and still have the top form mentality. The top form mentality has been with us for the last 18 years. Sorry, last 18 years. So until we remove that, we ain't winning no leagues. We ain't winning no Champions League. We're not getting out of any. We're not getting past the last 16. And that's a fact. Get the people out with the wrong mentality. And it's not just people on the pitch. I want people behind the scenes. Unless you've got that winning mentality that Abramovich had when he was at Chelsea and the Mansours have at Man City, get the hell out of here. Just be a top four side. Play on Thursdays. Get knocked out of group stages and go and get into Europa League as a consolation. Because at the moment, the mentality doesn't tell me that we're ready to challenge, because we proved it by bottling the league. And yes, we bottled it. And that right now, after this, I'm going to go and get my beers and pizzas, Shaban.
This comment before I come to you, mate. Yeah, you can't compete with City spending wise. Well, that's complete tosh. Yeah, because in the last 5 years, they've spent 258 million. By the time, do you know what the difference is? They're better at selling players. Yeah, they're better at selling players. They sold Sterling for 50 million. They sold Jesus 45 million. Sold Zinchenko 35. Yeah, they're going to sell Cancelo for at least 50, 60, 70. Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? They got rid of Sane for big money. They get rid of players for big money. Who do we get rid of? Oh, we just rip up contracts. We just rip them up. Go on, off you go. We won't bother replacing you. We'll get rid of 6 in January last year. Not even bother replacing any of them. And then cry, but at least we got the wage bill down £1 million a week. Yeah, this year, we got a thin squad. And this myth of thin squad, right? Cool. If it's a thin squad, why was everyone lauding up Caicedo? Why weren't they all rioting? Why weren't they all booing? Why weren't they all kicking off saying we wanted Caicedo? Why were they happy with Jorginho? Why were they trying to gas up Jorginho that he was the calming, experienced midfielder we needed? Because they're all happy. But now this is a narrative. Oh, we've got a thin squad. They've got 4 centre-backs playing across the back line. We've got their old left back playing basically anywhere he wants other than left back. He's playing Nathan Ake, a player that I wanted at this football club years ago and was told, oh, he's crap. He's crap. Oh, he's crap. Really? Did you see what Pep said about him? That was a dig at Zinchenko, by the way. Matty, what do you put all this down to, man?
Lee, I have set up this morning. I have stewed about this thing. Exactly what you was thinking, what you just brought up. You and Kenny just brought up. Let me say something. How is it that Arsenal, we sell our best players? When Man City came into power and they got their money, what do? We sold our best players to Manchester City. And then 10, 11 years later, they turn around, they give us hand-me-downs to token players that are of no use. We know Gundogan we should have been buying Gundogan when they bought him. Yep. We get these old, aged-out players. If Arsenal want to cut checks for old players, I will go down the hall, get my shin guards. I got my cleats in the car. I will fly over there. I'm willing to go to work for Arsenal and get a check if they want to give a check to old men. I am ready to go to work because it makes absolutely no sense that each year we have to go to either City, Chelsea, all these teams, they give us their hand-me-down players. And then we find ourselves in a situation where we have these players that are no good. 3 years later, we can't get rid of them. I'm sitting right here right now. We got 22 players on loan, 8 players out, 6 players in. If I was able to pull up the numbers and just show you how much money we have made on players going out, it would absolutely blow this stream away. Over here in America, we say follow the money. Go look at the money. I'm tired of this argument about, we don't have any money to spend. This is a new narrative that Arsenal fans are coming up with. We're broke. Uncle Scrooge won't hand us anything. And I'm sitting right here looking at teams just buying players all around us. McAllister supposed to be locked up a deal going to Liverpool. That's done. What I tell you, Lee, all the time, I tell you, we should have our business done just like that. And what do? We sit here, we watch everybody else around us get their stuff done, and then we're going to be there on August 31st, sitting there looking, and we're going to get some chap that we know nothing about. They're going to hype it up. The PR team is going to get it rolling. It is absolutely ridiculous that we go through this every year and that fans eat this crap up. It's maddening that we're even talking about Gundogan because we were told in January. What were we told in January, Gunnar? We sat here. They said Declan Rice has given his word. His word. His word. Not my word. That's what they said. He said, as soon as it's over, I'm coming over there. All 4 of us know he's going to wind up going over to City. He's going to wind up going to United somewhere else, and we're going to end up getting Mason Mount and some other hand-me-down. And then they're going to say, this is it. Believe, this is phase 6. Believe, we're here. We're going. It's over and over and over, and it's maddening. We've been dealing with this regime for the last 4 years. It makes no sense. We'll probably sell Balogun. We'll probably get rid of him for 20 or 30 million or something along that line. If we get that, knowing us, if we get that. And then we'll go out here and we'll just go buy little trinket players, more Fabio Vieira's to have in the team that we can't get rid of. And it's ridiculous. We go through this over and over and over and over. And then it's habitual goalpost moving. I am sick of it. They tell us, we want to win trophies. Then when it's time for us to win trophies, we finished in second place. Well, by that logic, if we're the second best team in the Premier League, why are we not competing next weekend or this weekend for a trophy? If we're considered the second best team, the bottom line here is we overachieved. People don't want to come to the carpet and realize that this manager is not cut out for the job. He is not cut out for the job. I'm sorry, people. You can believe what you want to believe. The man has had ample opportunity to be successful. He's been falling into situations where he should be successful. And what has he done? Consistently failed. When it comes to the transfer market, failed. We can't get anybody over the line of refute. It's ridiculous, Lee and Jez and Kenny, that we have to sit here. We've been doing this for 2 years, y'all. We've been sitting here. I know for a fact we've been sitting here for 2 years going over this. Same thing over and over and over. And when they say you're doing the same thing over and over and over and you're not getting results, what do they call it? Insanity, which is this entire situation.
What about you, Jez? Well, where do we go from here, Jez? Because this, for me, I've already seen so many players linked to Arsenal. We've been linked to about 1,500,000 players. Like, it's just ridiculous. We're linked to Mason Mount. We're linked to Declan Rice, Caicedo, Lavia, Zubamendi, Onana. Linked to everyone, apart from a manager. So, where do we go from here? Because we're in the Champions League next season. We've got Bukayo Saka, who for 2 seasons in a row, well, for 3 seasons in a row, has probably been our best player, in my opinion. But for 2 of them seasons in a row, has absolutely ghosted at the tail end of a season. He's got 1 goal and 1 assist in his last 9 games. And that was against Southampton, who we drew 3-3 with. We got Martin Odegaard, who ain't scored a goal in any big game all season. Yeah, but everyone's lauding him up that he's better than De Bruyne. We've wasted a lot of money. Sambi Lokonga, Fabio Vieira. Where do we go from here, mate? What do we do? How do we make ourselves win something next season, Jez?
Well, first, I'm going to make a statement here that is going to be absolutely hated, and I don't care. We're going to be stuck with Mikel Arteta through the summer transfer window and Edu, and we're going to start the season off and we're going to go in the Champions League. All the time we've got Arteta, we will fail. Fact. So the only way we're going to get Arteta and Edu out of this club is if we fail. So I'm going to say this. I want Arsenal to get kicked out of the Champions League, because that is what
that's standard. That ain't even debatable. We'll be out in the group stage real quick. We're in pot 3.
Well, yeah, but the fact is, Lee, the point I'm trying to make is this: until that happens, this fan base will be sucking Arteta off, singing that stupid song, having that stupid banner at the Emirates, and that is the only time this fan base will turn on him. Now,
sorry to cut you off. Just to add to that, do you think that if we do get knocked out of the Champions League in the group stage, that will be failure for these fans?
Yeah.
If we make it back into it again the following season or that season?
No, because Lee, the fan base out there, the delusion of the certain fan base it was all about top 4. It was all about top 4. So we've got top 4. We're now in the Champions League. We go into pot 3, and we draw God knows who, right? But there also is the narrative. I've been told by friends yesterday up in Islington, oh, well, if Man City win the FA Cup, Arsenal go in the Community Shield or Charity Shield, whatever the fuck it's called nowadays. I don't care about the Community Shield. I really don't care about that. It's not a trophy. It's a plate. You serve your roast beef up on it. You know what I'm saying? That's what that is all about. Now, I'm sorry, I hate saying this as a lifelong Arsenal fan, to get this cancer out of the club. And I also see now a lot of people are using my narratives. I called him a cancer at this club 2 bloody years ago. I called him. And I've seen on other channels people now say, oh, well, we papered over the cracks. I said that just after Christmas.
Yep.
Because when we did it at Aston Villa, we did it at home to Bournemouth. The fact is, people are waking up, and Kenny Ken got it right 3 weeks, 2 weeks, whenever it was. The worm is turning. And until we capitulate in that Champions League, he ain't going anywhere. And we will do shit business in the summer. Mm-hmm. That's for fact. We will buy a Chelsea reject from the Chelsea Pensioners Hospital. Good luck to them, because they've got the Chelsea Flower Show starting today. Nice one. And it is pathetic. This fan base, seriously, are clapped, because they're bigging it up. Oh, it's all about top 4. Top 4. Top 4 means F all. I had a guy last night. I had a debate with him in my chat, right? Yeah, but second's an achievement. How is that a bloody achievement? How is he? Well, it's better than being fifth. Really? What do you get for winning? What? Kelly, I've asked you this. Where is this top 4 trophy? It's got to be at the Arsenal Museum.
Well, let's face it. Last time I did an Arsenal tour with work, and that was actually coincidentally a few days before Mourinho's first game against Arsenal as a Chelsea manager. And that was, so we're talking about 18 years ago. I went into dressing rooms. That's the old library, and I saw all the trophies. I couldn't find the top 4 trophy. I saw the Charity Shield. I actually got a hold of the FA Cup, believe it or not. You know, but not not the FA Cup we won in 2005. The replica for 2003. Plus, I got placed my hand on the Invincibles trophy, the gold one. Right. I was allowed to touch it, but I wasn't allowed to hold it in case I dropped it. So, but I couldn't find the top 4 trophy anywhere.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, man.
If second place was so important, why are we not having a discussion about second place when we finished it behind Leicester City? If it's so important.
Yeah. If it's that important, Spurs who don't win anything historically, how comes they got more points with a younger manager when they chased down or were actually leading at one point and ended up finishing second to record-breaking 93 points, Antonio Conte? If it's that important, how comes we don't actually ever hear Tottenham fans talking about that season? I don't hear any Tottenham fans talking about that, and they finished on more points than we can get.
All right, because you know why? From a period between 2016 up until like 2019, Spurs fans were not talking about getting a top 4. They thought it was beneath them. They were talking about winning the title, because in 2016, when they finished third in a 2-horse race, I had an argument with a Spurs fan about top 4. I said, "Excuse me, mate, I'm better than that. That's your level now. We want to win a title." That didn't change in 2017, and it certainly didn't in 2018. But the reality struck because of Man City's, they went on a different level and they accelerated past them, and Liverpool became a bit stronger as well. There was too much of a gap for them to bridge, because Levy weren't spending the money. But in terms of our football club, I'm afraid Arteta lost a lot of support with his team selection. There was already anger last week against Brighton, but with his team selection, even the big boys now will be coming to the realisation we bottled the league, and they're firmly blaming Arteta. They're blaming him, for overplaying Saka. They're blaming him for ruining Partey in terms of paying him when he was injured. So they're seeing it, what we're seeing. I'm not saying they're Arteta out, but they're criticising in a way that we've been criticising for the last 3 or 4 years without saying the word Arteta out. So I'm not saying that he's going to do it, but the fact is that there's no hiding place for the manager. Not after last season, especially not after this season, because, as much as he likes to hide behind what happened yesterday with Man City being utilised as one of the best teams ever because they're going to win a treble, you can't, turn the clock back. You only have to rewind back to the comments in January when Man City lost to Man United and we beat Spurs. There was only one winner then. According to them, Walker wasn't playing in the team. He was out of the team because they were playing Rico Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
De Bruyne was had a falling out with him. Mahrez was a bit off form. Gundogan wasn't anywhere, and obviously you've got Bernardo Silva. They were there for the taking. They made a massive mistake to sell Zinchenko and Jesus, and they're paying for it now. That was the narrative. So for people to now try and say that it's no disgrace to finish against Man City, well, I'm sorry, we all knew Man City were great, so we all knew they were going to become strong in the second half of the season. But they were the ones going on Talk Sport, having a go at Richard Keys because he said we're over-celebrating. They're the ones who are saying we're going to win the league. They're the ones who booked all their trains.
Gary Neville, who, by the way, did say on the overlap that they had finished 10 points behind Man. We'd finished 10 points behind
but even so, that wasn't relevant because at the time the way things were going, we were the team that was going to win the league. I mean, there's one guy. Someone just sent me something. I think he appears on a show of your mate from East London, but he says that the team that finishes top of the table for the most of the season should go and win the league. He's the one person who you shut down on that channel. But so,
I've seen.
Yeah,
that
I think
video,
you know what I'm
mate.
talking about. I think you've seen it. Yeah,
video.
yeah. He's a complete and utter wazzock and a pork chop to boot. But that's the sort of logic he's coming out with. But as I said before, Mick, whether we like it or not, whether you can sing as much as your North London Forever songs as much as you like. You can sing the Arteta song, but let's not forget, it's on him. Team selection, he's responsible for. Tactics, he's responsible for. Monitoring whether players in the red zone or not he's responsible for. Substitutions, he's responsible for. Motivation, he's responsible for. So he has to take the can for this. This is on his door. There was no major injuries, apart from, all right, Jesus. But when Jesus came back, we were still winning. In fact, after the Man City game, we won consecutive games before we dropped points at Anfield. Before the World Cup, we only lost one game and drew once and won all the other games. We had the record. We got the record amount of points before the end of November when the World Cup commenced. So don't come up and try to turn the clock back and say, "Oh yeah, we couldn't hunt down Man City." That's complete and utter bullshit. It's nonsense. Stop lying to yourselves. I've seen your podcast. I've seen how you were celebrating. I've seen how you thought we were going to win the league. And we all thought that, although we all told ourselves off to take it one game at a time. So don't turn the clock back and you think that Man City were leading all the season. They weren't. We were leading the season for 93 points. We bottled the league, and people need to own it. It's disgrace.
And not only that,
it's worse than Newcastle.
Yeah, it is. They were actually crowned champions on Saturday on 85 points. 85.
Exactly.
You know,
85 points.
We've had people telling us this season, after, like you just said, people are saying Man City ain't what they all used to be back with Centurions and 90 plus. But then you have people going, oh yeah, well, we have to get 95 points to win the league. You know, there's an unbelievable team. Really? They've just won the league on 85 points. 85.
Well, you know what?
They won it two seasons ago on 86.
Lee, if we didn't drop those bloody points in those games, and you didn't bottle it against Brighton and Nottingham Forest, who knows? We could have probably got the 94 points to win the bloody thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's not fake
Southampton, West Ham, Brighton, Nottingham Forest. There's another 12 points.
You can talk about Man City.
Well,
yeah, you can talk about Haaland, you can talk about everything Man City have done. But the fact is, we bottled the league. Jesus is not a centre forward. Let me tell you something now. Haaland got 52 goals this season. Jesus, was it 13 and 14? That's why they sold Jesus, because they upgraded with Haaland and they gave us Jesus. So if you want to win the league next season, get a player who can score 35 goals a season, because Jesus will not win you the league. Good player, love it a bit, but he's not going to win you the league.
Hey, Kitty, I put a graphic in our chat this morning. Jez, I don't know if you saw that graphic I put in there this morning. Jesus in the Premier League this season only has 10 goals. 10 goals. Lee, what's Buddy's name to play for Forest that scored on us on a winning? He had 26 games and 9 goals. Brother. Brother, the proof is in the pudding, man. We have been sold fool's gold, man. They went out, they spent $50 million on Jesus. And like I said, I like Jesus, but he's not the guy that's going to get us where we need to be. And people have got to realize, man, that we are short. Jez, Kenny, Lee, we all sat here for 8 to 10 weeks telling people we're short. We got to get defense. We're leaking goals. All the issues and the problems. And people just refuse to see it. They just refuse to see it. But the reality is here. It's like what Kenny said. The manager has to hold his L. He has to sit down and hold his L. And yes, that strike is going to go, for me, it's going to go into next season. And he has a short leash with me. He's got 10 games. 10 games with me. And that's it. Because we see that this is failure. And I want people to start calling it like it is. This is failure on all levels.
If this was the other way round, right? Let's say this was a different way round, and it was Tottenham and Man City in this position, not Arsenal, our fans would be having a field day.
You have memes all over the place. You have memes. You'd be laughing. They'd be AFTV. They have all kind of. They have a parade laughing about it. They'd be on Sky. Everybody be having a joke about it. But because it's us, and what happens, the first thing when a person does not want to realize that it's them, they start deflecting. They deflect, and that's what you're getting. You get people deflecting. They don't want to face the facts. We face the facts because we delve in reality over here. We saw it coming. We saw it coming. These other folk, they don't want to see it. They don't want to realize. Do you know what's really going to stink for them? Next year when we're in a worse situation, like Jazz said, when we get kicked out, and I mean kicked out of the Champions League next year, because we're going to get kicked out, good fashion. Because we couldn't even beat their C team in Juventus C team in December. We couldn't beat Sporting Lisbon. We couldn't even handle the lowest.
Couldn't even beat Villarreal, mate.
Yeah, the lowest of the low. So I'm supposed to think that we're going to be tough enough to roll up against Bayern Munich, who's going to retool, by the way. Real Madrid, who's going to retool, by the way. PSG. And all these other teams that's going to retool.
We could get all of these in the group. Barcelona, we could get in a group. Like we could potentially get all of these teams.
We're in trouble next year, man. We're in trouble. And I'm sorry. This manager has failed over and over and over. Just look no further than the team that we put out on the field on Saturday. What was that? What was that crap he put out there? You've got Kieran is sitting right there. He's sitting right there looking dead at you. You got Emma Smith-Rowe sitting right there. And this man consistently puts out trash.
I want to read this comment out as well, man. Sorry to cut you off. 1,500 in the building. Make sure you sub to Jez's channel. He's 160 away from 4K. So Arsenal history and more people. The link is in the description. Kenny Ken 1972, his Insta is in there as well. And Matty's channel, the Southern Gooner, is also in there. So make sure 1,500 people that are watching, make sure you go and show some love. Big up to Josh for the donation. Big up to everyone who's been chucking them in. I've been replying as if they're off topic and stuff like that. But this one I found funny. Our aim was top 4. I think you meant aim was top 4 at the end of the day. That might have been your aim, mate. That's never my aim. Yeah, my aim is never to finish top 4. Yeah, not for me. Unless it's first, we've lost. Because let me just break it down in simple terms for everyone, right? At the start of the season, there's 20 teams to start, yeah? At the end of the season, one team gets crowned champions of England in the Premier League. The other 19 haven't won it, so they've all lost. That's it. It's pretty simple. So why are you guys moaning so much? We will learn from this and become stronger. Look where Spurs are. Number 2, I couldn't give a shit about Spurs. My point is if it was the other way around, this fan base would be on smoke for them. Number 3. Yeah, number 3. We haven't learned from last season. In fact, if anything, this is a bigger capitulation than last season. The only difference is we finished higher up. Still didn't win it. Last season, we were 4th with 3 games to go, 4 points clear and finished 5th. And we're handing out new contracts to El Neni and Eddie Nketiah. Why? This season, we're finishing 2nd when being 1st for 93% of the season, and we're giving out contracts to everyone. Why? When there's no accountability at a football club and everyone's happy, you can blame Man City for spending all you like. The fact is, when we've got owners, right, that sit there and get fed information back that everyone's happy, top 4's the aim, everyone's happy. And it's not just Arsenal. Liverpool's owners are the same. Man United's owners are the same. The only ones who ain't, Tottenham's owners are the same. Chelsea's owners ain't, but they ain't got a fucking clue what they're doing. Man City are just sitting there going, boy, this is locked off for the next 5 years. Locked off. Because when our fan bases, all of these teams I've just said, when they're all of these fan bases are all saying, well, top 4, nobody can compete with City. Well, nobody can compete with City if you allow the ownership to get away. We're not competing with City. We can compete with City. We spent 35 million on fucking Vieira, 20 on Samba Lokonga. Yeah, come on. We're giving Eddie Nketiah 100 grand a week. That's 20 million over 4 years.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, why? Because it saves that. Great point you just made. Can I just ask a question? 6 years ago, who came second in the Premier League? Kenny, don't answer. I can't remember.
6 years ago. 6 years ago. The season after Leicester won it. I ain't got a clue, mate, if I'm honest. I'd
I
have a
don't
guess
know.
maybe Man United with Jose. Maybe, in fact, I'll have a look. Probably Man United with Jose.
I
6
thought
years.
maybe Liverpool.
The
Covered.
point I'm
Everyone
trying
knows I know it. Jez knows it really,
Yeah,
but
it's Man United
it's a
with
good point.
Jose.
But no, the
I'm just trying to
point,
make.
it's not relevant, is it?
I'm trying to
Second's
make-
But no,
relevant.
it's not relevant. Look, people are saying Tottenham, Chelsea.
Nobody
No.
remembers
The
because
answer to that, guys,
came second. Kenny and I know it. At the end of the day, who cares? You came
Yeah,
second,
exactly.
and it was Spurs. It was Spurs, but nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit.
No.
So what's the point?
If-
What is?
Go on,
Hey,
go on, mate, go on,
I
carry
forgot.
on.
I
Carry
forgot
on,
we
mate.
finished second in Leicester. I already forgot we finished second in Leicester.
And,
I forgot
and
about
that's
that.
exactly the
the
point.
million,
Well,
the
yeah.
$1 million question here is, I don't know if you can go back to that last super chat lead that the guy put up there. He doesn't need to be asking you anything. He needs to be asking Edu, because Edu came out in August and said that we were to compete and win.
25th of July. He said
That's
we're
what he
going-
said.
Yeah.
I told y'all.
Arsenal
People
started winning
receipt.
the league, he said.
I'm pulling receipts over here. I told you, I love when people have stupidity with me, because then I can go back and look at the track record. We've got a 3-year running track record with this stupidity. The jig is up. It's like Gunnar said, the jig is up. The facade is down. You can't just keep coming here saying this stupid stuff and we don't have something to stand on, because we're seeing this over. It's repeating over and over and over. You know, this narrative. Like he said, if it was Tottenham, y'all be laughing and cutting the fool and spinning and dancing the jig and everything else. But because it's Arsenal, we got to protect that. No, we failed. We're the laughing stock of the league.
You see, you've got to preach it. We've got to preach it. We failed, and that's why we're angry. We're not angry because we think it's gonna, we're gonna read a script, because apparently we're scripted to be angry fans. We're all happy this season. We all were praising the manager. Look at the player ratings for proof. Look at the marks we gave him. I was the only one who marked down. Lee and Jess didn't mark down, but I marked down because I'm stingy. We gave White good props. We couldn't stop praising Granit Xhaka. I said Thomas Partey is the best player in the league, and I was saying that the untouchables in the team were Saka, Odegaard, and Partey. So I was always praising them because I was enjoying this season. I've invested in this season, so that's why I'm disappointed, and that's why I'm angry, because it was so unnecessary. Yes, we Man City are mentality monsters, but we only got to play them twice. We were 2-0 up.
We're not playing them 38 times a season, are we? Let's be real.
Exactly. And even if you did the roadmap, to victory, because you know what they do, like these these political analysts or PR men for the Prime Minister, when they have general elections, they have roadmap scenarios where they can get votes and where it's possible to get him into 10 Downing Street. Well, we had a roadmap of the places where we'll get the points and where we may drop points. And on that roadmap, it's to add us winning the league by at least 2 points. Yep. So the roadmap to drop points was at the Etihad. It probably was going to be St James's Park, but we won, and it was probably going to be Anfield. But all the other games were winnable, and we failed. We failed, and the reason why we failed, right? The reason why we failed is because I warned the fans. I was on every podcast, including yourself and Jez, talking about the way we're defending, the way we kept on making individual errors and kept on failing to keep clean sheets, that was going to come back and bite us up the arse. I said it after Bournemouth. I said it after Villa. I was even saying it in games against Leeds, where we were conceding chances from kickoff. No, we never listened. We were so, complacent. And look what's happened now. Look what's happening now. The manager, it's on you. You're meant to address that. You're meant to be like a defensive manager, and you're meant to be like having.
We've conceded more goals than Chelsea, mate, and only about 3 more than 3 less.
How can I see it? Someone who's not member of the coaching team, or not member of the the footballing fraternity or the journalist fraternity. I could see it. I'm just a normal fan. So how come
we've conceded 2 goals less than Aston Villa? 2 goals less than Villa.
Exactly. Exactly. You're winning games. You're winning games against Bournemouth 3-2. You're beating Aston 4-2. You're conceding goals. You're not even clean sheets at home. And that's not championship form. We had the warning signs, and the manager couldn't heed it. It's on you, Arteta, because the warning signs were there when we were winning.
We've conceded 4 goals less than Brentford, 6 goals less. Hang on, 3 goals less than Brentford, 5 goals less than Crystal Palace, who didn't win a game from January until they sacked Vieira in mid-March. But I want to read this out real quick here. I do have to wrap this up as well, people, because I'm on with Henry Wright in a minute. The only club I can actually take the piss out of. And it's not even worth it, really, is it? Now we are really going to go for things. Arsenal transfer chief Edu Gaspar sends Premier League warning. Pre the date, people. Pre the date. July 25th, 2022. So just before the start of the season. Arsenal transfer director Edu has warned the rest of the Premier League that the Gunners will no longer settle for competing for 4th place, and they must aim for titles and trophies in the coming season. Well, on that basis alone, then, Edu, you need to sack the manager then, don't you, mate?
And himself.
Yeah, because he hasn't. And himself. Yeah, following the arrival of blah, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah. There he is, the inverted wanker. Edu, who has played a key role in all of this. Champions League, okay, I accepted that, but I want to be realistic, the former Invincible told The Athletic. Be there in my head, I want to win. A club like Arsenal, at our size, is not building to be fighting for 4th. I'm sorry, we have to be realistic. There is City, Liverpool, etc. That's fine. I accept that. But you cannot accept that. Here, when you join the club, when you see the size, we cannot accept that. That's why I really, really hurt when I arrived. I said, that is not the mentality of this football club. Yeah. What's happening? Everybody is comfortable. Everybody's okay. Yeah. Fuck you. Okay. No, I don't want to lose. No, I don't want to lose games. We have to be there again. And I want to see these physios. I want to see the scouting. I want to see everybody with that kind of feeling where they say, fucking hell, now we're going to go for things. Yeah. And that is what is changing. Again, it doesn't happen overnight, but I think we are changing and putting some good mentality in the squad. Characters. Really, mate. Well, on that basis, then, please do fucking come out and explain to me, yeah, you fraudulent lying fuck, yeah, why you're still in a job, why Arteta's still in a job, why Rob Holding's still here, why we gave Ed Elneny a new contract this season, why we're offering Reece Nelson a new contract this season, why we've just given Aaron Ramsdale a new contract when he's done fuck all for 2 years, ain't won nothing, here's a new deal on a bigger salary. We reward mediocrity. Real Madrid are looking at getting rid of their players that they were going to give contracts to because they got battered by Man City. That's how you do things. Oh, and then Florentino Perez has come out and said, well, yes, we actually had a change of heart on some players that we were going to offer new contracts to. We'll have to revise that now after that embarrassment. Yeah, 1 game embarrassed, you're not getting your new contract, fuck off. They've won 6 trophies in 2 seasons, that club, and they're not giving out contracts like confetti like we are. So that guy is a fucking liar. Yeah, that guy is a liar. Yeah, and he'll come out again with a spin in the summer when we go and sign Mason Mount. Yeah, we'll probably get Mason Mount and fucking Declan Rice and everyone will be on their knees again. Round and round and round we go for another 2 decades.
Lee, can I just bring this point up before we wrap this up?
Yeah, man.
Am I correct in saying that Josh Kroenke said he wanted to interact more with the fan base?
Yep. I've not seen him
Well, where
since.
the fuck's he been then? Where's he been? I ain't seen him. Having
Jess, there's no documentary crew with him. They're not filming for Amazon. They're not filming. He doesn't need to be here. Don't need him. What's the point? He can go and work on his other businesses or work on his mother's business in Walmart. What's the point of him being here? There's no one.
It's all PR.
There's no
reality
TV to
bumping into AFTV. He keeps miraculously bumping into AFTV. I mean, it's a miracle. I don't think I've ever seen
where else are going
into the hierarchy of their football club so often. Convenient, that, isn't it? Yeah. So if Edu wants to conveniently bump into this channel, yeah, we can have a conversation about his lies. Yeah, and about what direction this club is going in, and actually be sticking it on him rather than sitting going, "Oh, Edu, oh please, thanks for Trossard, you fucking."
But Lee, it's not just the fan camps. Let's not forget. There's a channel that obviously doesn't run, but they have an occupant who goes home and away, and he's part of some sort of like supporters club, and he actually got a FaceTime on players after Newcastle. So it's not just the fan camps, and only the fan camps is the problem. It's him, as people like him as well, who are the problem, who interact with the club. And then you've got other people who do other podcasts who've been invited to the unveiling of a mural, because George Graham was, oh yeah, I'm so honored I was at the mural. These are the problem. We need to get them out. And I want to say it to all of you guys, and I hope you watch it. Look in my eyes. You don't represent the fan base, you guys. You're not representing the fan base, okay? All you guys who like I said, get invited to these murals, or get invited to an audience with the managing director, sporting director, or getting to the press conference to ask silly questions. You're not representing the fans. Stop kidding yourselves. You're there for your own benefit. So don't you dare try and say you speak for the fan base, because you didn't like it when people try to speak for you. So don't be hypocrites and try and speak for the fan base. We can speak for ourselves, all right? You are just there to represent yourself, represent your brand, and get loads of tweets and loads of followers. Okay, so when the club, try and like I said, paint you as representative of fans, have the decency to correct them and say you're not, and say you're there for yourself. And I might have some respect for you, because right now I've got no respect for any of you guys, because you're liars, you're con men,
Yep. I'm not quite sure as well, because I've just checked to see what Martin Odegaard's won in his career. This is our club captain, by the way, and he's been playing professional football at the highest level for 8 years. I'm not quite sure why Transfer Market have him down as winning stuff at Real Madrid when he played 11 games for Real Madrid. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how that works, because in 15-16 apparently he won the Champions League. He never kicked a ball for Real Madrid that season. 15-16. And 16-17. He never kicked a ball for Real Madrid in the Champions League. For Real Madrid, never kicked a ball, both seasons. So I'm not quite sure why he's down as 2 times Champions League winner and Super Cup winner, because he never played in them competitions. But anyway, on that bombshell, it's been emotional. Big up to everybody in this chat. There's still 1,400 people in here. I am going live with Henry Wright TV in a minute.
Matt, it's funny. I'm glad to finally do a podcast. You've been waiting for about a year, mate.
Yeah, me and you got crazy schedules, man. We've got to hook up over. Yeah, we've got to definitely hook up over the summer, man.
Yeah, bro, do you know what? We'll do something, but I swear down, I'm counting down how many more streams I've got this week, and then that's me just uploading for fucking 11 weeks. Yeah, I'll be doing the odd stream here and there with people, but I promised Terry I'll be doing his, and then obviously you guys can jump on as and when here and there. So, but other than that,
Lee,
I'll just be uploading videos and sitting on a beach, mate, because this club, has driven me nuts.
I'll say it like this, man: you lay down with the dog, you wake up with the fleas, my friend.
Yes.
Jez, what you got coming up, man? What you got coming up?
Wednesday weekly podcast. I think, Kenny, you're not available, are you? I think you've got something going down.
Yeah, I'll just have to confirm, because it depends. But because just trying to get somewhere to do it. Because what's happening is that I've got to organise, like something, a move, and it's probably going to take a few days. Yeah, so like I said, but you know what? The place I've got internet, so I've got to, if I can get time, I'd love to do it. But I don't want to let you down. That's why it's imperative that we did one yesterday.
It went a bit awry yesterday. I won't be doing
it's fine. Come on, it's fine.
No,
everyone's have to have their opinions.
Say whatever you want, do whatever you want. F what anyone thinks. At the end of the day, all these people that want to come and attack you, me, Matty, Northside, Dan, Curtis, Delu, all these other people, that want to come and chat crap in the comments. We don't care, because if we cared, we wouldn't be coming back again the next day, or the next hour, or 2 hours, or 3 hours. It is what it is. Yeah, the fact and reality is, you don't speak for me. Yeah, I speak for myself, and if I want to say something, ain't nobody stopping me saying what I want to say. Yeah, exactly. Unless you're fucking me, feeding me, or financing me, I'll say what the fuck I want. It's as simple as that.
Exactly.
So make sure you sub to Jez's channel, people. Arsenal history and more.
Nearly I want to get there for my birthday. I'm 62 next Wednesday. But
you know nothing about Arsenal, mate. You know nothing about Arsenal.
you know nothing, mate.
Never watched it.
Make sure you sub to Jez's channel, people. Come on. Make sure you get that done straight away. I'll stick that link. It's in the description. I'll stick it in the chat as well. Kenny, what you got coming up, man?
Well, not much. I'm probably just gonna. I'm like I said, as I told you, the outside thing, house moving, it's going to take about a few days, and so that's got to be done. But I want to try and find time if I can to do Jez's podcast. But you know where I'm going to be on Sunday. You know, no doubt, everyone's going to try and cheer me up, and they're going to convince me what a great
Are you
season
staying
we've
for the
had.
parade at the end, Kenny?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I refuse.
You're not cheering second place. I mean, we are overachieving in phase 3
Look,
of the youth
it's not
project.
it's not personal. It's not personal because I've stayed for most of them except for the Veng one. It's just that, you know, it's just gonna. I want to see I'm being a spoiled brat. I want to see the parade with the trophy, and anything less than seeing a trophy is not for me.
Facts.
You know, I wanted that Premiership title. I'm desperate for it.
We should have had it as well. Big up, man. Kenny's link's in the chat as well. Make sure you follow Kenny's channel. Matty, man, thanks for coming on, mate. Appreciate it.
Brother.
And what you got coming up, man?
All right, so today, as soon as we get off here, I'm heading over to Tony Clark Gunner TV. We're gonna be this is gonna be fun because I've converted him to the Arteta out, so we'll be talking about that today. And then yesterday I was with Monty and TJ Warren over on my channel, and then tonight at 7:30 Eastern time I'll be on with DWTT. We'll be talking, and I can't wait to go. I told you so. I cannot wait to go. I told you so today. So. And of course, on Saturday, me, you, and Ola will Sunday watch the funeral.
Sunday, yeah, man.
Yeah, we'll watch the funeral processions for Arsenal for the end of the year. So,
do you think Wolves will try?
Yeah,
Of
I
course they will, bro. 100%. If we win that game, yeah, I'll be shocked.
Yeah,
Granit Xhaka's giving it. Well, I want to leave on a high. We want to leave the guys on a high.
If we don't win that game, we'll be 13 points behind Man City if Man City win all their games. Yeah. And
not
Kenny, it don't matter, mate. The aim was top 4.
21 points. 21 points.
No, that's humiliating if we lose and Man City win all their games. Humiliating.
Yeah, man. GK, I have no idea who that is, if I'm being honest, my friend.
Champions League final, World Cup final, and UEFA Euros. Oh, your Euro Cup final. Man of the match.
Well, see, it's got to be an Italian. It's got to be an Italian, surely.
He said World Cup final.
It's got to be an Italian. No,
it's Iniesta.
Iker Casillas or Iniesta.
Yeah, it's got to be Iniesta or no, Xavi, because he played in the Champions League final. He's played in the World Cup final in 2010, and he's played in the UEFA Euros. Yeah, for Spain. So it's got to be either Xavi or Iniesta. Yeah, Xavi or Iniesta. Spanish. It's got to be Southern Spanish.
And on that bombshell, Henry Wright's link is going in the chat as we speak. Spam his chat with race car emojis, and we're going to take the piss out of that. Beyonce's playing there soon. Yeah, Beyonce is playing there. But there we go. Iniesta is the answer. On that bombshell, I'll be back again tomorrow with Terry Flowers and Rants and Bants. So yeah, man. All have a wonderful evening. Big up to everybody who's been dropping donations, gifting out memberships and all of that good stuff. And big up to everybody who's been commenting and subbing to the lads as well. And yeah, man, on Henry Wright TV right now, the link's in the chat as well. Adios, Arteta out. Layers.
I told man.
Arteta, you prick.